What's going on, everyone? So today I'm just gonna be doing kind of a vlog type video. We're gonna go get some firewood um up a local road that's pretty close to our house. So I'll show you what we got with, chainsaw, of course, and I'll go into details later, kind of when we get up there. Camera gear, always want to have safety glasses, chaps, we got ear protection here. This is just kind of a bin full of chainsaw sharpening tools, scrunches, all kinds of stuff like that. Gloves, of course, leather gloves. We got an axe and some more gloves, fuel, the steel moto mix, and then some woodcutter bar and chain oil. So it's kind of the few things you really need. Of course, food and water. We have a nice big truck, so we should be able to fit a fair amount of wood in it. So yeah, we're gonna head up there in a second here, and we'll get to cutting once we find a tree. All right, so this is the tree we found. Looks like a Doug fir that is dead. So we looked at the lean. I looked at the lean, and it doesn't have a primary lean. The branches are more on this left side, but we're gonna fell it and shoot it straight towards the road. You can see kind of this pathway right here. The first thing we're gonna do is just take this out of here, so we're not tripping on it, and we're not trying to so it's not in the way, I should say, while you're cutting your notch. And if the tree were to go this way, it wouldn't uproot it or whatever. So we'll just cut this. Make a notch here. I'll either do an open face, which I'll show you what that is, or a Humboldt, which is an upside down open face. So I'll get to doing my diagonal cut down and then lining the sights up. Got an open face notch. You want the apex to meet right here.
What does that mean?
You want the corners to line up. If your cut's going back into there, that's gonna cause barbachair and the tree to snap back at you.
What do you mean the corners line up?
These right here, just make sure it's all lined up and comes down to that bottom cut. And then you always want to check. I did this cut first, which is fine. You want to look in the path that it's going to go and just make sure it's all lined up. When doing your back cut here, we're going to do a little bit higher, but we're not going to angle it down. And we'll put a wedge in at some point, so you'll see me mark it on both sides, take my time, coming through the back, and look multiple times, because this bar is a little short. I'll come from both sides, put a wedge in, and keep an eye on the top of the tree. also making sure the cut's not facing down, you know.
Oh my god.
Well, I had come take a look. I kind of messed up, but it still went down. That cut was way too low for here, and I had barely any hinge wood to hinge the tree.
So
It's still-
explain what you mean.
the wedge really helped. I started cutting, and it went down. I didn't want that.
How do you avoid that?
I thought it was lined up. You just gotta
What do you
double
use?
check.
What do you use to line it up?
I'm just marking the back cut pretty much. I still had hinge wood, and it still went right where we wanted it to, luckily. I was a little worried, but you see, like, I went into here and cut some of that hinge wood, not knowing. I thought I had more left than I did. When I started out here, I was like, okay, I'll go from the other side, and then it just started going down, and I saw the saw. I was like, uh-oh. Came from the other side, and just, when that happens, you kind of got to work it and slowly get down, and then I just banged the wedge in more, and it went down.
So, so you're trying to get it totally flat.
Yeah, you want it flat. And the hinge is this. It's what controls the tree when it went down. There's still some, but not a lot. But it still came down exactly where we wanted it to.
Look. And before you start it, when you're limbing, explain to me like how you safely cut.
Well, with limbing, you have to get in all different positions. They never want to, I guess, be too close to your legs when cutting. And
Do you always cut in a certain direction?
no, it doesn't totally matter. You can go like that and that and that and that and up and down.
Is there any way that like it can kick back?
If you have big limbs, which we don't, they'll pinch and send your saw back with kickback, but that's different. And these are smaller, so we're not going to have an issue. this into sections, 16-inch firewood sections. As you see, we've marked it with the hatchet. But in order so it doesn't pinch, so we don't hit the ground with the chain, we're gonna cut it right here, and then cut halfway through, roll the log, cut the other half. So for cutting these, bucking them up, I went halfway, rolled it, and then limbed some of it. But say this wasn't cut, you can come in like this, or you can come in like this, but the risk is you have so much downforce, you'll come down, hit the ground, and dull your chain. So when you're getting close halfway through, just kind of feather the throttle, but don't rock the saw back and forth.
And explain to me when we first cut the first half.
When you're doing the first half, you get it, you full throttle, let it go in, use your bucking spikes, your spikes right here, and pretty much spike them in so the saw's not moving, and then just pretty much let it cut down the log halfway through. Because you never want, you can, if you have a really long bar, you can cut out here like this, but it's just safer to use those spikes and stuff for cutting firewood.
And you said not like don't rock the saw back.
No, I'll see some people when they're cutting, they'll just want to use it as like a push saw or a hand saw. Just always keep the bar steady no matter what you're doing. You don't need to rock it back and forth when you're cutting this.
And why is that?
Steady. Well, you'll risk kickback, or you'll just risk, who knows, you could hit like
could it pinch your saw?
Yeah, it could pinch, because if you're rocking it back and forth, it might pull it back and kick back onto you.
Okay.
I put the wedge in just so it doesn't pinch. You know, I couldn't avoid cutting all the way through because we're cutting them into sections. So you just have to be very careful. You're gonna tap the ground a teeny bit, but as long as you slowly feather out of that cut and you're not blasting through it, you'll be fine. And then we'll cut these halfway through, roll them, and do the same thing.
Last one.
What?
That was the last one.
Yep. Gotta send these into the ditch.
Hopefully not the road.
Not again.
Okay, here's all our firewood rounds. Now we gotta get them into the truck.
So in case you didn't realize, we used Steel MS-180C. Does not have the easy to start feature. It's an older model, but we got a 16-inch bar on here with the 50 gauge bar and chain, so it's a little bit thicker and more robust. I've done a muffler mod. Trying to think what else. Our mechanic in town, the Krieger's that I work at, put a new cover on it and was able to mod that so it can fit that. And while I'm at it, I'll show you. This new cover was added. A new carburetor was put in pretty recently, and so the cover's easy to get off. We have the pleated 2-layer air filter and a completely new air box that the new 170s and 180s have. So better filtration. Let's take a look at this. Some sawdust, but not much, you know. And then, so he had to cut some of this out, cut that cover a little bit in order to make this so it would fit on here. But a lot better. It's also got vents for air right there. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you in the next one.